And you need to know that demons are still at work in our world. There are powerful cultural forces of evil at work in our world. And the Bible says that our war is not just against flesh and blood, but powers, principalities, and spirits. Behind the war we see is always a war that God sees. And what he's saying here is that the angels who became demons, they did not have humility. So let me just talk about humility. And no human being can say, I'm humble. And if you do, you're proud. All right? So all we can say is we're proud people that are pursuing humility by the grace of God. And humility is not thinking less of yourself, but it's thinking of yourself less. And it's thinking of God and others more. And humility allows you to accept your place. The problem with demons, they were proud. Now, I know we live in a world where pride is a virtue, not a vice. We have a whole Pride Month. We don't have a humility month. We just don't. And everybody's like, I need to have a high self-esteem. Why? Have you met yourself? Maybe low would be more. Anyway, so what happens is we live in a world where pride is a virtue, and in the Bible, pride is a vice. In fact, one of the titles for Satan is that he is proud. And Satan and demons, their issue is pride. And what he's talking about here is that demons fell because they didn't accept their place humbly. So the Bible says that there is God, and then there are angels, and then people. This is the chain of command or hierarchy. I think it's Hebrews 2:7 says that God has made us a little lower than the angels. So God, angels, us. What certain angels wanted to do, they wanted to occupy God's seat of authority and sit on his throne. They decided we don't want to be under authority, we want to be our own authority. We don't want to do what we're told, we want to do what we want. We don't want to honor God, we want to be God. We don't want to worship him, we'd like to dethrone him, and we'd like others to worship us. Friends, we just need to accept humbly the place that God has appointed for us. If God's appointed you to lead, lead. If God has appointed you to follow, follow. And what we have now is an entire world that rebels against all authority. Children are taught to dishonor their parents. People are taught to dishonor law enforcement. Over and over and over, it's just constant encouragement of rebellion. We need to take those people out of authority, and we need to be in authority. What he's saying is, it's demonic. That's what he's saying. If you are an arrogant person, you are susceptible to demonic pride. Pride is a problem, not a solution. And we live in a world where everyone thinks that they should be in charge, and very few are qualified to occupy seats of authority. And rebellion and anarchy does not lead to human life and flourishing. It's why Satan was cast out of heaven, cast down to the earth. Revelation 12:7-9 comes to mind, because God doesn't tolerate arrogance, pride, dishonor, disregard, destruction of rightful authority. He casts it out of heaven. There's no place in a culture that is committed to God to be absolutely anarchist and rebellious. It's demonic.